As Nick Mantas from our NBC affiliate KPRC knows, he is outside the stadium in Houston where that Portugal game just wrapped. Big deal, 5-0 against Uzbekistan, but everybody was I feel like this was the big storyline today. What's Ronaldo going to do? Is he going to be able to snap his scoreless streak? And he did, right?
In a big way, too. I mean, we were all thinking that there was a possibility that he was going to try to do maybe some Lionel Messi type stuff and maybe go for a hat trick today after having a frustrating first game against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Right over here at Houston Stadium, not only did he make a statement in the first couple of minutes of the game, but he did so in a big way, breaking that scoreless streak like you mentioned, and then getting another goal with 2 goals today. And then as he's walking off the match, he kind of looked at one of the cameras and made sure they knew that he's back. And he's doing so in a big way, scoring in 6 World Cups now, breaking a record, becoming the first person ever to score in 6 World Cups. And Hallie, when you think about what this means, not just for him, but for Portugal, this is a big moment for his career and really kind of put a little bit more confidence into Portugal fans and Cristiano Ronaldo fans as well, getting to see what he was able to do today.
I can only imagine that people have gone bananas there. I realize the parking lot has largely emptied out. Not your fault. You're there after the game. But, like, was it just totally packed? Because the crowds, that's been one thing. You know, people will say, I say this, I'm not necessarily, haven't always been like a soccer fan, but I'm a fan of soccer fans. It's been fun to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, the energy that they've been bringing to the United States, a lot of us have been really basking in that and really enjoying that. And a lot of people, my friends back home in the Boston area, have told me that they cannot believe what Scotland has done for them out there. Here, the Portugal fans have decided that they were going to make this their hub. Even though this is not exactly where they're training mostly out in the Miami area. But right here for these 2 games they've been playing these last 2 weeks, we had a Portugal fan walk this morning where there had to be at least 2,000 fans who are out there at 9 o'clock in the morning, ready to walk through this about 94% Houston humidity. That by itself is brave, in order to make sure that they're beating drums and singing songs and getting everybody fired up for this game 3 hours ahead of the game before it even started at noon our time here at Houston. And it was really, really exciting to see how this place was packed. Sure, there was about maybe 200 to 300 Uzbekistan fans, but 68,000 packed Houston Stadium right here behind me, Haley. When you think about all of those fans, a majority, I would say maybe 90% of them have Cristiano red jerseys on, and they could not be more thankful. When we talked to a couple of them as they're coming out of Houston Stadium, they could not be more thankful to have experienced what they experienced today, seeing Cristiano Ronaldo score 2 goals, making sure that he was able to break history and to bask in it and to really enjoy it. Now as they're spilling out behind us and kind of walking through here and making their way to the parking lots and to Fan Fest around this area as well, you can sense that this area downtown, east of downtown Houston, where all the kind of the Fan Fest and the party area is going to be, it's going to be bumping the next couple of hours. Not just with this game, but England comes and plays after that, and there's a whole bunch of fun that going down here in Houston. So it's a lot. It's a lot going down in this area.
Do not let me keep you from the party. Off to the Fan Fest you go. Nick Mantas, thank you very much for being with us. I appreciate it. Thank you for the live reporting there. I'm jealous. I wish we could trade. Thanks.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.